want to walk through some of the error handling and logging capabilities, debugging capabilities within Alloy. So the way that it works, if we hop into a integration that has some runs on it, I can go into a specific workflow and we can see those workflow logs. So if I click on the logs here, we can see all of the historical runs. Now, if we're looking at the entire integration, we would see all logs for all users, but if we're in a user-specific workflow using the installation manager, we'd see just the logs for that one particular user. So you can be looking at everybody or just one user at a time. Now, within that, we'll see the input and output of every block that runs within the workflow. So in this case, we created the order. We see the data that gets sent in. And we also can see what data came out. So this is the response from that create order API. You can see that this other one had an error. So in this case, if we scroll all the way down, we see that Shopify said phone is invalid. So you can use this to help figure out why the workflow wasn't run or wasn't working and then correct that. Another couple of options that we have within the workflow itself is we have an error handler block, which allows you to route errors based on an HTTP response code. So we have catch-all success, catch-all error. We also, though, have the ability to route based on specific HTTP codes. So we can choose whether we want just the first branch or any branch. And we could do things like, say, if this gets a authorization error, perhaps we want to notify a team member in Slack to go take some action. So that might be a common flow for those errors. Or maybe like writing that data to a spreadsheet, something like that. And you can add more of these as needed. A few other tools that we have to help with these workflow logs and being notified if there's any issues is you can stream these logs to AWS EventBridge as an option. And you also have the option to fetch these from API at any time. So in addition to streaming those to like AWS EventBridge, you can grab those yourself via API. So if we go to like the API and we go to error logging, we see that we have the ability to get those workflow logs as well. So a few different tools to help with debugging and error logging / error routing. Yeah, just an overview of how it works in Alloy.